Yeah, thank you. And thank you for allowing me to have this opportunity to share our experience here in Odense. Did you see my screen? Did the screen change? Perfect. Sorry, I'm a bit new to this, so please bear with me. Yeah, we have a long tradition of sharing information externally. So we are part of the ACR Plus member, and also have projects abroad, Indonesia, Kenya, with the Danish Environmental Agency. So we really take a pride in sharing our information and trying to improve environment and waste management throughout the world. A little bit about Odense. It's a relatively small city. Although we are the fourth largest city in Denmark, we still just have 200,000 inhabitants, so relatively small. But we collect waste from the households, curbside collection, and last year we collected 136,000 tons into these 10 fractions, which is obligatory by EU. And one of them, of course, is the hazardous waste, which we have household collection of to some extent. We have our setup is like we have 8 recycling stations where people can bring the waste. This is mainly for recyclables. But for the normal residual waste, we go to the households and collect it. But yeah, we have 8 of these locations, and 2 of them there is a station where you can deliver the hazardous waste. So just you are all experts in this, so you all know what the hazardous waste is, and that also it's defined in this European waste list. And I just want to emphasize that there is some information. Actually, ACR Plus supported a project where we collected information into a report. As you see here, there's this guidance which present examples on how hazardous waste from household can be collected. So that's something I would recommend to look into. It gives some background. It's maybe a bit outdated because in the meantime we have now this obligation to collect it at the households. So there might be some differences, but you can this is a good place to start, I would say. Then about our setup here in Odense. We provide the citizens with red boxes. We have big types and a smaller one. The big one can accommodate 11 kilos. And it's according to this ADR approval, so it's a standard packaging which is ADR approved, meaning that we are allowed to transport it on a truck. And then we have a smaller one which can carry 8 kilos. The citizen can call us and ask us for these boxes, or they can come to one of the stations where we will hand it out to them, and then they will put the hazardous waste into it. Except for batteries, there we have a special scheme where we just put them on top of the waste bin, and then our normal garbage truck will take it and put it into a special compartment. So batteries is a bit special. It could also go into the red box, but most people use this just to put them in a plastic bag on top of the normal bin. So when people have a full box of hazardous waste in the red box, There's different ways of getting rid of it. Either they can call us or write to us on our service homepage, the service desk, where we then will assign a date where we will come and pick it up. It can either be by a big truck, as you see at the top here, or we have a smaller one with less capacity. So depending on how many boxes we need to collect on the specific date, we will go with either the big truck or the small truck. And then people will just put out the red box at the curbside in the morning, and we will pick it up. Then another way is that they can go to one of the 8 recycling stations, where we have a scheme so that there's every 4 weeks, I think it is, there's a special scheme where they know that the big truck is located at the recycling center, so they can bring the red box themselves to the big truck, and then they will do the sorting in the big truck, or they can go to those 2 stations where we have a dedicated area for hazardous waste collection. That is, I will come back to this afterwards, because the big truck then comes back to the one location where we have sorting. Then we open the red boxes and put it into all the different categories of hazardous waste, which we have: oxidizing, corrosive, flammable, solvents, all kind of things, which is based on the disposal treatment. So we separate them according to the final disposal, and then we have a company who comes and pick it up from us after we have packed it into the appropriate containers. The reception area is always manned, and there will always be a discussion about what is the chemical, so that we are aware, because most times people don't really bring it in the original packaging. So therefore, it's really important for us that we have this discussion and talk about what did they use it for, how old is it, is there any problems with this chemical. So based on that discussion, our person here will put it into the right barrel or drum. About the trucks, this small truck is designed in such a way that it can accommodate 28 of these boxes of 8 kilos. And then because of that, we are below the ADR requirements, meaning that we don't have to have all the necessary equipment, safety equipment. We don't need the bill of lading. All these formalities is avoided by collecting smaller quantities. And we have a good a result by this, because 25 boxes is actually quite a lot. We normally don't go and pick up 25 boxes. So most of the time we use the small truck to pick up the waste, the boxes. For the big one, of course, it's much bigger. And it has a bigger capacity, and therefore we need to comply with the ADR regulation when we transport the waste from the recycling center back to our sorting and storage area. It requires this especially ADR educated driver. There's a lot about safety features, and also very problematic is to produce this bill of lading. What is stored on the truck? There have to be a document which define what is loaded onto the truck. And to do that, we have, of course, we have all these different boxes, again, drums where we can put the material. But as you see in the middle, we have a small scale attached to a computer system so that we can weigh the different containers individually and then assign a waste category, a UN number to the waste, and then the system print out, as you see to the right-hand side here, the bill of lading, the consignment note, which shows what is stored on the truck, which is a demand by ADR rules that you have this on board. For the block of flats, high-rise buildings, it's difficult for the people to have red boxes in their apartment. They don't have much space, so having this red box is problematic, and therefore we set up these racks where we can put red boxes into it. It's actually very clever. You open a door on the right-hand side and you push in your red box, and then out from the other side, there's an empty box coming out. So you feed in the full and you get an empty one. So you can have smaller boxes. We have up to, I think, down to 3 kilos, because these flats, they don't generate much hazardous waste, so we don't need the big boxes. What is really required by the big box is that we can put paint box bottles and buckets really take up a lot of space and weigh a lot. Therefore, we need the big 11 kilo container, the box for that. But for the flats, we have very small ones, and it don't take up much space in the flats, so people are very happy with this. And then we can come and empty the full cupboard when it's full. Sorting. You see, we have different setup, but all of it is more or less the same. That for each type of waste, there's a bucket, a drum, and we have exhaust connected to each of the drums so that our staff is not affected by the fumes from the waste, if there is any. Most of the time, the containers are closed, but in case there is any leakage, then we don't want our people to be exposed to this. And also, of course, we have strong safety measures, goggles and gloves, and also we have breathing apparatus in case there is a big spillage. But normally it's people bring it to us, so normally it's safely closed and covered in a closed container, so not generating too many problems. In the drums, we have what we call a vermiculite, like a packaging material to prevent the bottles to break. And also this is good for the transportation, that it doesn't break during transport. And then when we have packed the drums, we put them out into our storage area. It has to be a covered area, so we have put up a special container which can be locked, and also it is on the roof. So the company who deals with the disposal will collect the material from these locations. We both have the gases you see here. To the left is the gas cylinders, which we have divided into flammable and inert and oxidizing gases, so that there's not a mixture of different gases. For paint, we have a big container because we have a huge amount of paint collected from the citizens. So that is emptied into a tight container and taken in that way to the disposal facility. Then we have a huge amount of cylinders with helium. This has become, I don't know why, but has become very, very popular. This is a huge amount, and because it's such a huge amount, we now ourselves empty them, and then we make a hole in them, because then it's not ADR, it's not hazardous substances anymore, because it's an empty container, so we can now transport it as metals. But we have to make sure that they are punctured, that there is a hole in each container, which takes up a lot of work for us to do that. Also, these gases, nitrogen, what is it called? Nitrogen oxides, ladder gas is causing a lot of trouble for us. For fireworks, we have a special container again. There is special requirements towards the distance towards other activities. And because we have a very small location, we have put up these walls around the small container to prevent if there is an explosion, then we don't have any objects flying to the surroundings. Then about the quantities, there is some calculations that typically there's about 1% of the municipal waste, which is hazardous waste, which is typically between 1 to 6 kilo. And here in Odense, last year we collected 405 tons, which was 0.8% of the total amount that we collected. So on the low side of the 1%, but close to. It would really correlate to about 2 kilo per inhabitant, which is also a bit to the low end, but again, within the range. We spent a huge amount of money on this. We had 1.1 million euro of cost for these 405 tons. So around 2,600 euros per ton of material, which I think is an incredible amount. But as you see, most of the costs relate to collection and administration of the system, and 40% was related to the disposal cost. So we have a huge amount of administration work, and also the people have to have this special training, and we have to have extra people working with this to secure that it's fully manned, our stations. So when you think about the biggest quantity, as you see on the next slide here, our largest quantity, more than half of what we get is paint. And paint is, I don't really think is considered such a hazardous material. Most of the paint nowadays are this water-based paints, but still it's considered as a hazardous material. And I think that's something somebody should investigate. Why don't we do something else with this huge quantity then? Typically, the disposal would be incineration of this, which is highly costly, but it should be possible to to pre-treatment in some way, so that I hope that the universities at some point would look into this, or somebody technical could look into this, because that would reduce the quantities tremendously, especially here in Denmark at least. Otherwise, we have the gas, the precious cylinders, organic chemicals, motor oil, and then solvents are the next fractions, of which we have most. We also do a lot of campaigns. We have brochures about what is the red box about, what should be put in, also about small electronical, especially these lithium batteries is causing problems nowadays. We have fires once in a while, especially from these bicycle batteries, which if they are broken, then they have enough energy to start the fire. The one to the right-hand side is like a campaign we just ran in the local newspaper. We have like focus topics, and last week it was actually this about the hazardous waste. So we try to educate people, and that's also, as you see here, we have a nearly 10% increase every year, and that in one way it's good because it prevents the hazardous waste to be mixed into the normal household waste, but on the other hand it's also generating additional costs for us every year. So we of course we need to take care of the environment, but yeah, there is, especially for the paint, I think there is a demand to do something about it. So I hope it was clear to you what we do here in Odense, and I think in many cases it's probably similar to the other systems in place in other countries and cities. But now you have our system here, and feel free to contact me in case you need extra information.